Hey there. Welcome to whatever this is. I know what you're thinking. This is a lot of green right here. Let's do something to break that up a little bit. That's better. So if you hear some noises in the background, that's either the furnace coming on or the elephants upstairs. Please don't tell my wife I called her elephants. So I thought I'd start this channel to talk about the card collecting hobby from my perspective. There's a lot of card collecting channels out there, and it's always interesting to see what each one sort of brings, the perspective of each collector. I do have another YouTube channel that's been going for a while, content that's completely not at all related to cards. And a couple of folks have encouraged me to actually go through with it. Most recently, John from The Past is Alive. Really enjoyed my correspondence with him so far. Great guy. Seems just real genuine the way he comes across in his videos. So let's kick this off with a little bit about my collecting history, and maybe we'll get into where I'm sort of at with it now. I started collecting as a kid when it was, must have been around 1987, maybe early 1987, because I remember buying packs of the 87 Tops cards, that wood grain. A lot of us junk wax kids, we grew up opening a lot of those late 80s Tops cards. For me, 87 Tops is the first set that I really remember collecting as a kid. I remember opening a lot of 86 packs as well. We get lucky and find a little corner mart somewhere that still had some 86 Tops or 86 Donruss in stock, and we'd buy those up whenever we could find them. So as a kid playing baseball in the neighborhood, we all wanted to be this guy, and we all wanted to have this card. Anybody else remember when this card is worth like $100? It's ridiculous. So I got into collecting with my best friend at the time. His name was Michael. We collected together. I was always real jealous that he had the factory set of 85 Tops. Always thought that was awesome. And his favorite team was the Mets. Loved Tom Seaver. We'd always go to the card shops and ask them about Tom Seaver rookie cards and crazy stuff like that that we'd never be able to afford. The one thing that was great about the local card shops back in the day is they were really pretty tolerant of us kids. They knew they weren't getting any business out of us, right? The guys that ran the shops always seemed like they were, real happy to take a little bit extra time for the kids coming into the shop and show us cool stuff and teach us a few things. So fast forward a few years, probably into my mid-teenage years, I'd been collecting a while and not with any real, you know, it's the right word, not with any real focus. I bought whatever, opened packs of whatever, kept cards of whatever we thought was great at the time. Never did pull that 88 Donruss Greg Jeffries out of a pack though. Sometime probably in the early 90s, I guess it would have been. I really got out of collecting, took an interest in, just other things that teenagers do. And about 10, 15 years later, I briefly got back into it again. I got into it more so for opening older unopened boxes of material. Had a spell where, I had some disposable income because I was out on my own, had a good job, didn't have a lot of expenses. So I would do things like, buy a box of 1980 Topps cello packs that hadn't been opened, or 82 Topps wax box. All the early to mid 80s stuff that I could get my hands on. I would open a lot of stuff from Mark Murphy, if anybody remembers him, the baseball card kid. So opened a lot of cool old stuff, pulled a lot of great cards, and ended up with boxes full of commons, minor stars, that were in really, really good condition, pack fresh. Fast forward many more years, getting married, having kids, the collection was still kicking around, and like it's big at this point, physically big. And a lot of you guys probably have much bigger collections, but this is 15 to 20,000 cards probably. And yeah, that just takes up a good chunk of space when you don't have a lot of storage space to begin with. And my boys started getting a little bit into playing baseball, collecting the cards. I would show them some of the cards from my collection once in a while, and they thought it was cool. They got into it. We do have a local card shop that's really good, so took them there a few times. So they've got collections of their own now, and they kind of got me pulled back into the hobby, which has been great. What wasn't great was digging through this massive pile of storage containers and boxes that was my, you know, collection in air quotes. It wasn't really a collection of anything in particular. It was just everything I had amassed over the years. It was a giant mess. And a lot of junk wax stuff, which is not much better than kindling when it comes to the commons and minor stars. I did some thinking on what to do about the collection, and I decided to focus on collecting a narrower scope of things to end up with a smaller collection that was much more dense in value. So instead of 15 to 20,000 cards, that were on paper, probably worth an average of, 5 to 10 cents a piece, and in reality, probably worth a lot less than that. Have a couple of small boxes of cards that were somehow logically related and more, as I said, more dense in value. A lot of the cards that I kind of dreamed of as a kid that I never thought I'd actually have. I won't say I've completely pared down the collection, but I've gone from a massive pile of junk wax junk to really just a few, two or three 800 count boxes full of stuff that I'm happy to hang on to for a while, but will happily trade or sell to go towards cards that I'm really after now. So this is the first time that I've really had a focus on something in particular to collect, and that's really been a lot of fun. So what I decided to focus on primarily, and this isn't exclusively, but mainly on Hall of Fame rookie cards, and that's a pretty good size elephant to eat. So I thought as a starting point from 1951 to 1991, since I already had a good head start on a few of the cards sort of around those boundary years, I set myself the task of getting at least one Hall of Fame rookie card from every year that there was one within those years. I'll give you a quick look at cards that I've collected so far towards that, and I'm really close. So really what I'm missing right now, one card to have that first goal met. So at least one Hall of Fame rookie card from every year that there was one from 51 through 91. I need 1952. Eddie Matthews is a pretty expensive card. I'm certainly not getting him anytime soon. Dick Williams, Hall of Fame manager, that is also his rookie card. So that's the card I'm mostly after right now to fill that 1952 hole. So other than 52, here's what I've got so far. 51 Topps Redback Monty Irvin. I always love these 51 Topps cards. Very cool. 1954 was another pretty rugged year when it comes to Hall of Fame rookie cards. You got some to choose from, but they're pretty expensive cards with the likes of Ernie Banks, Hank Aaron, Al Kaline. But again, Hall of Fame manager rookie card, Tommy Lasorda. Not in the best condition, but I'll take it for now. It has these black marks that I think are from manufacturer process, these sort of streaks. I've seen them on a lot of the 50s and 60s Topps cards. I think maybe they went through a conveyor mechanism of some kind while some of the ink was still not quite dry. It's kind of what it looks like. But anyways, 54 Topps, really cool cards. So was happy to fill that slot with Tom Lasorda for now. 55 tops. I got real lucky and found a pretty nice Harmon Killebrew. It was very inexpensive because it has, I don't know if you can tell on camera, in the corners here, there were small pieces of tape that were very carefully applied, and they came off really, really easily. I used a stereoscopic microscope and some good sharp tweezers, and tape came off and left just faint shadows. For what the card is, I'll definitely take that. So super, super happy with this card. '56, we got Luis Aparicio. This was a find at a local card show. Wasn't really planning on picking this one up anytime soon, but it was there and price was pretty good, so I went for it. That face he's making, I don't know. '57, so I would like a Brooks Robinson and a Frank Robinson someday, but for now we got Whitey Herzog, another Hall of Fame manager. Not too fussy about the condition on this one since he doesn't really do a whole lot for me. '58, Orlando Cepeda. Pretty neat card. This one's really grown on me. I wasn't crazy about it to begin with. I actually bought 2 copies of the card, bid on 2 auctions, and total lowball bids, and ended up winning them both. So the other one, which was nicer than this one's all right. This other one was really, really sweet. I ended up selling the other one to a buddy of mine who was after a higher grade copy of it, because this was perfectly fine for me. This is not a card I care to have in super high condition. But you can see its major flaw is the mark on the back right there. And for this card, I'm okay with that. So 59, once again, the Hall of Fame manager rookie card cop-out, Sparky Anderson. Neat card. I kind of dig these 59 tops cards. I think 59 is the set that has the Bob Gibson rookie card, as I recall. That's one I would really like to put into this collection. Beautiful looking card. 1960, we got Willie McCovey. He almost looks kind of alien in that picture, don't you think? 61, we got Billy Williams, and this is an interesting card. So if you try to find this card, you're going to find that most of them have this, I'm going to call it a dog hair, some printing defect that right across the white border, there's a black line, looks just like there's a, hair from a black lab across the card or something. Something about that defect just rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it. So I actually sacrificed a little bit of condition in other areas to get one that didn't have that print defect. And 61 tops is terrible for being real off-center too. This one's not too bad compared to some of them, but a little off-center. Edges and corners aren't the greatest. But you know what? I'll take that for now. 62 tops, Joe Torre, again, the Hall of Fame manager cop-out. 62 tops also has the Gaylord Perry rookie card, if I'm not mistaken. Don't make the same mistake I did and buy a 63 tops Gaylord Perry, multiplayer deal. This isn't the card, but it's one of these multiplayer rookie cards. It's got Gaylord Perry on it, but that's not his rookie card. His rookie card is 62 tops. For now, we got Joe Torre, which is, I don't know, neat looking card in my opinion. Always love the gold trophy. The condition's really pretty poor on this card, but I don't care for now. We'll get a Gaylord Perry in here at some point. So 63 tops, your only option is the Willie Stargell. It's a high number card, so you know, you just kind of got to suck it up for the most part. Tough to find this card for less than $100, but you can if you keep your eyes peeled. This one's pretty, it's all right. A couple small creases at the top here. Obviously off center a little bit. Well, I mean, a lot bit depending on your perspective. 64, we got Tony La Russa, Hall of Fame manager again. The Hall of Fame manager rookie cards are a great way to start the Hall of Fame rookie card collection if you're on more of a budget. This is I don't know, I like the backs of these cards. They're just really cool looking. I like the colors. This one's got pretty decent corners. The back hasn't been rubbed. You could rub this with a coin to show the print underneath there. Yeah, I like that card. 65. Joe Morgan. Really, really like this card. Condition is really pretty good. It's a great card, and it's a pretty good example of the card. Yeah, really happy to have this one. Another one I picked up from local card show, actually, from my buddy that I sold the Orlando Cepeda to, as I recall. All right, now, avert your eyes. This is terrible. Tony Perez. But the best thing about this card is one of the other cards that came with it in the same lot. Hall of Fame rookie, so I'm keeping it in the collection until I find one that's in better shape. This really is almost as bad as it gets. There's paper loss on the front. Some real weird discoloration. I don't know what that is, but it does not look good. The back actually doesn't look all that bad, but the front's a dumpster fire. So yeah, Tony Perez, filler grade. 66, Jim Palmer. Off center, but other than that, pretty good. I like the colors. Does have a good surface. This is one that came from the local card shop. It's a great pickup. Okay, 66. Also have the Fergie Jenkins. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but this is another pretty rough one. This is another one that came with that Tony Perez in that same lot. But this isn't the reason I got that lot. You'll see that one next. This is kind of, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not quite as bad as I was remembering. The corners really suck, though. They're really beat in. But neat card nonetheless. This next one, 1967, is the reason I bought that lot of other cards. And they're all in bad condition for sure. But this one was killing me. Like 67's a tough year. Rod Carew, Tom Seaver is your other option. I'd have to look at my list. I think that might be it for 67. Those are both real expensive cards, and I wasn't, going to shell out for those anytime soon. But I was happy to find an example of either one that was in really rough shape. But it just seemed like the Rod Carew's the cheaper of the two, and you can find that card in any sort of condition for less than $100. Like even if it was just absolutely mutilated. So I saw one that had. It wasn't Rod Carew, it was Hank Allen. Someone had scribbled over his eyes with ballpoint pen. That thing still sold for like $80. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I found this and those other two, the Tony Perez and the Fergie Jenkins, and a Rolly Fingers that I ended up selling and probably should have kept it just to have it be a filler in the collection. All in really rough shape for less than I was willing to spend on a beat up copy of just the Rod Carew. It's eBay listing, just right place at the right time, I guess. You can see this is, this is pretty rough. Big creases across. It has some surface stuff going on here, almost like the cardboard sort of delaminating a little bit on the edges. And yeah, I don't really care. Happy to have this card in any condition for right now. This is another great pickup. 68, we got Johnny Bench. This card looks a lot better than it actually is. Maybe you can tell from this side on camera more so than the front, but right there's a real small crease that runs across, just a little bit of a wrinkle. It only goes in from the edge about that far. So that's right here, right under Johnny. Goes right into his name a little bit. Pretty happy with that for now. I like that a lot. Another one of those cards that, you know, as a kid, like, this was a cool card that we all wanted. 69 tops, we got Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. It's a really cool, iconic card that it was another one that I wasn't planning on having right away, but fell into my lap, so I took it. It's real good, except the, I don't know if you can tell, maybe this area in particular, some kind of, looks like a surface condition, but I don't know. I don't think it's a print flaw. If it was a printing flaw, you'd see it just in, you know, one of the print colors, but you see it going into the black as well. I think that it's surface wear or something pulled some of the ink away. But other than that, it's a pretty nice card. Well, other than that in that corner, I guess. But yeah, great card. I love having this one. 69 tops, we also have Earl Weaver. Hall of Fame manager. This is his rookie card, even though it's a manager card. He apparently never played in the major leagues. Or if they did, they didn't make any cards of him. And I think, unless I'm mistaken, so maybe except for Walter Alston, I'll have to check on that one. I think he's 56. I think this is the only Hall of Fame manager rookie card that is also a manager card. So kind of neat. Bobby Cox, another Hall of Fame manager. Cool gold trophy thing going on. I mean, I'd call this one miscut. The centering really is pretty awful, especially when you flip it over. 71, got Bert Blyleven. I mean, we all know 71 tops. The black border is, you know, terrible for showing chips and corner wear. I really like these cards, like the design of them, but my one thing that I do not like with these cards are like bad edge and corner chipping and wear on them. So, you know, I will suffer a lot of other flaws in the card, like, you know, creases or print flaws, in favor of having good edges and corners. And that's exactly what we have here. We've got a crease on the bottom, and I'm okay with that because the rest of the card really is pretty nice. So 71, we've also got Ted Simmons now, just voted into the Hall of Fame. I believe his rookie card is also 71. 72, Carlton Fisk. This is another sort of iconic card when I was collecting growing up. I think it was those Stadium Club cards that did it for a lot of the rookie cards that we sort of sought after as kids. I don't know if you remember, but I think it was 91 Stadium Club. If you flip them over on the back, they would show you a picture of the player's first Topps card. And I remember flipping over the Carlton Fisk and seeing a little picture of this card, and I thought this was a really cool looking card. Always thought it was awesome. This is one I got from Dean's Cards, and I got it knowing it had some surface stuff going on. Like it had a few weird marks and things. It surprisingly cleaned up with a microfiber cloth, so it ended up looking even better than I thought it was going to. Pretty nice example. I like it a lot. Of course, 1970, there was nobody. I mean, should be Thurman Munson, but, you know, whatever. 53, there also was nobody. I should have mentioned that back when we were in the 50s. 73, we've got Goose Gossage. Not the best condition, but it's all right. You know, this is, I mean, the card was $7, $8, I think. I mean, can't go wrong. Hall of Fame rookie card from the 70s. Decent condition. 74, we got Dave Winfield. Another one that I always thought was real cool when I was a kid. 75, I have all of them. I'm going to start with the George Brett just because it's kind of a heartbreaker. So this is a really great card except for this blemish right here below his elbow. So there's some tape residue action going on there, a little bit faded around it. It's the kind of thing where once you notice it, it's hard not to notice it. It's pretty noticeable. Centering's pretty good, edges are pretty good, corners are nice. Wonderful card. Just in general, I mean, this specific example has got its flaws, but I'm still pretty happy to have it. I mean, especially for the price, like this card was cheap. It has these spots on the back. This one here where the tape, I think, wrapped around a little bit, so the residue kind of bled through, and then I don't know what those are. And you know what? I still don't care, because that is awesome. Robin Yount. This one is, like, corner-wise, it's maybe not quite as good as the Brett, but it's a pretty nice 75 tops. Like that one quite a lot too. Jim Rice. We all loved Jim Rice growing up. Very cool card. I mean, the whole multiplayer thing, but still. And Gary Carter. 76, we got Dennis Eckersley. This is a weird card to look at. Like, what's going on with those sideburns? They're sort of like they're pointed in the wrong direction. I don't know. Those are some weird sideburns, is all I'm saying. Cool card of a great player, though, obviously. Centering's not so good vertically, and it's got these stray ink marks along the bottom here that appear to be just printing defect from the factory. It's another card you can pick up for pretty short money. 77, Andre Dawson. Who else do we have in 77? I guess Bruce Sutter. I need to keep an eye out for. It might just be him and Andre Dawson in 77. I don't have my list handy. This is in really pretty nice shape. I like this one a lot. At least for a multiplayer card. 78, I mean, right now we're filling that with Jack Morris. I do have, in a box next to me, the Eddie Murray that I bought on eBay. That is like that whole thing is just going to be its own video sometime. Next video, maybe we'll get into that and some other related stuff, but for now, this guy's representing 78. And you can find this card cheap all over the place. 79, we got Ozzie Smith. This is one of the cards that's from my childhood collection that I still have. Condition could be better, but it's all right. A little bit of a ding in the side there. If you know 79 tops, I mean, these are 79 tops and 80 tops too. They're both pretty, like the centering's rough on them. It's hard to find centering that isn't absolute garbage. That is okay centering for a 79 tops. Like, I'll take that. 80 tops, of course, Ricky Henderson. This is great centering for an 80 tops. It's tough to find this card any better than this. Like, it's not quite perfect, but it's fairly good. This has got a little bit of the typical 80 tops ragged cut along the edge. Barely noticeable, but it's there a little bit. This is still a really nice example of the card, though. I had several of these. Didn't want duplicates, so I've got rid of a couple of them. This was the best of the three that I had. 81 tops. We got Harold Baines. Why are people getting like $8 for this card? Absolutely baffling. But it is a good looking card. It is an attractive card of a Hall of Fame rookie who is solo on the card. Like, it's not one of those multiplayer deals. So the 81 Topps Tim Raines, he's on there with a couple other guys. I don't know, this is a more visually pleasing card to me. I have the 81 Donruss Tim Raines coming in the mail. Not here yet, so it's not going to be in this video. 82 Topps, Cal Ripken Jr. Pretty nice card. Obviously has a horrible print flaw right there on Jeff Schneider's cheek. At least it's on that guy, not that guy. This is yet another one from my teenage years. I bought I think it was a wax box of 82 Topps that I bought and opened. Pulled the one Ripken rookie card out of it, and I was happy. '82, we got an '82 Donruss Lee Smith. Pretty nice shape. That's another card that you can get real cheap. '83, I've got all three of them from '83 Fleer. Tony Gwynn, pretty off-center, top to bottom. These are all, I should mention, these came from a cello box of '83 Fleer that I opened back in the day. So these are all in real nice shape, edge and corner wise. Elephants again. Wade Boggs. Definitely better centering than the Gwynn. Ryan Sandberg. One of the reasons I went after that box of '83 Fleer, one of the reasons that I have a soft spot in my heart for '83 Fleer, because I guess they're really not very attractive cards. I just always liked them. I had this card when I was a kid, and it was real beat up. Corners were awful, and I think it might have had a small crease or two. But just always loved it because it was like one of my best cards. Like, I had that Ozzie Smith that I got a little later too, but like this and the Ozzie Smith, like, I loved those two cards. Being able to rip through a whole box of those cards was pretty sweet. '85, we got Kirby Puckett, Topps, Donruss, and a miscut Fleer. The Topps is really nice. 85 Topps, I just like them. The front, I like the design. Some people think they're weird, I guess, but I like them. But even the back, the colors on the back, I don't know. Just always loved these cards. The Donruss is also pretty nice. 85 Donruss, the same sort of. That's not on the card. That's on the team bag that's over it here. Schmutz. They got the same black border condition issues going on, and this is a real nice example. This might actually be my favorite of the bunch. I really like that card. And 85 Fleer. I always liked 85 Fleer growing up too. Never had the chance to open many of them. I remember buying a couple cello packs a couple different times at card shows when I was a teenager. For '87, we've got the '87 Topps Barry Larkin. And we've got '87 Donruss Greg Maddux. '87 Donruss, another design that definitely takes me back to the day. We bought a lot of these growing up. Probably not as many as the Topps, but whenever we could find the '87 or '86 for that matter Donruss, we bought them because, man, I don't know what it was. Just the weird border, the colors behind the names, the chance of seeing that cool looking rated rookie logo. I don't know. We just love these cards growing up. '88 from the Topps base set, we got Tom Glavine. then from Topps Traded, we got the Roberto Alomar. This one was a pretty recent pickup. Got him for $1.50. All right, 89. We've got a lot here. So 89 Donruss. Again, another one of those iconic sets growing up. Griffey, Johnson, Biggio, Smoltz, all in real nice shape. Fleer, we've got kind of the same situation going on. Griffey, Biggio, Johnson, Smoltz. The Johnson is a blacked out version. You can't see any of the Marlboro sign back there. I'm not really interested in picking up all of the variants of this card, at least not going out of my way. 89 Score, Randy Johnson. 89 Upper Deck, John Smoltz. 1990, we've got the 1990 Topps Frank Thomas. It's not the no name on front, obviously. I remember seeing a lot of this card growing up as a kid. Bought a lot of 90 Topps. 91, we've got the Topps Traded. I had to check there, I wasn't sure. Topps Traded, Jeff Bagwell, the Ivan Rodriguez. I've got some minor league cards in here too that I'll probably pull these out since I shouldn't be calling them rookie cards, but I do kind of like minor league cards of star players, so I should probably take the few that I have and start putting them into their own little category. 91 Upper Deck, got a couple. We've got the Jeff Bagwell and Chipper Jones. 91 Score, Mike Messina. And 91 Fleer Update, Ivan Rodriguez. These two need to not be in here. So 92 Donruss, Jim Thome, rated rookie. 96 Topps, prospect card of Vladimir Guerrero Sr. Neither one of those are actually the rookie cards. So there is a 95, I want to say Bowman, that's got the Vladdy Sr. rookie card. Maybe it's not Bowman, I'm wondering now. I've got it on the list, I just don't recall offhand. And then there's a 91 Jim Thome from a different set. So I need to get my hands on that 52 Dick Williams, and once I'm there, I'm only one card away from having all of the Hall of Fame manager rookie cards from 51 to present. I guess the earliest being 52. I will be missing Walter Alston, which I believe is 56. So I guess the next stage would be taking the Hall of Fame manager rookie cards, putting them in their own little collection, and then I'll have to continue to flesh out the Hall of Fame player rookie cards, which I'm not too far away from, certainly for the 80s and even the 70s. The 60s, there's a couple of big ones in there. You know, I need the Yaz. I've got a bead on a nice Yaz. It's 1960. Of course, Seaver and Ryan. Probably keep my eyes peeled for Seaver and Ryan in, like, you know, real rough shape, just, you know, total filler grade. Anyways, Hall of Fame rookie collection is shaping up pretty well, I think. You know, especially given where I started, and you know, this latest round of me getting back into the hobby with my boys hasn't been very long. Less than a year, I guess, now. So I feel like I've made really good progress in a relatively short time. Again, that's just the Hall of Fame rookies. I have a thing for Ernie Banks cards that some of you might find interesting. It's not just that I collect Ernie Banks cards. They have to be really beat up. I've also got a thing for Jimmy Key, Blue Jays pitcher back in the 80s and 90s. Secondary to the Hall of Fame rookies would be food cards, though. I've got a thing for food cards of especially Hall of Famers, but even some stars I'll go for as well, like non-Hall of Fame stars. There's just a lot of neat older food cards that I always keep my eyes peeled for. The cereal ones are the easiest to find, like you got the old Wheaties cards like that. We've got the Wheaties Pee Wee Reese. This is another one, like this would be his rookie card if cards on the back of a cereal box could ever be considered anybody's rookie card. I love that kind of stuff. I don't know what it is. They're just weird and quirky, and I like them. So I'll take you through the food card stuff someday. The Jimmy Key, the Ernie Banks, the Conseco cards. And I got a soft spot for a lot of the other stars from the junk wax days. Whether or not they'll ever be in the Hall of Fame doesn't really matter to me. So I'll wrap this up before I yak too much longer here. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for taking the time to let me run through a part of my collection with you. Let me know if I've mentioned anything that sounds particularly interesting to you that you'd want me to run through sooner rather than later. I'll do periodic videos when I pick up some new cards, eBay, local card shop, whatever. Thanks for watching and Happy New Year.